Lauren Perot from RE/MAX with your weekly home update for the Portland metro area for the week ending April 21st, 2024. Mortgage rates have risen for the third week in a row, reaching the highest levels we've seen this year, and we may be seeing the first signs of downward pressure on sales prices in Portland real estate. Let's look at the details. First, the average sales price took a 6% dive after a couple weeks of pretty strong numbers. Even with the plunge, though, the average still didn't drop below last year's numbers, but only just barely. We ended up $578 higher than this time last year. Woohoo! Like I've said in the past, we are dealing with a relatively small number of transactions in our week-to-week statistics, so we can see some volatility in the numbers, and I would like to see a few more weeks of data before saying, hey, that's a new trend. The transactions that resulted in this week's average sales price were most likely completed shortly before interest rates began to rise again, because escrow periods are generally about 30 days to 45 days. I believe that the next few weeks will see some more downward pressure on sales prices and homeowner equity, unfortunately. In terms of demand, the number of purchase agreements signed by buyers and sellers fell 3% from the previous week, but it still outperformed the market last year, although only by a few deals. That's a really small gap compared to what we've been seeing over the last few months. And again, I'd like to see what the next couple of weeks show for statistics. But unless we see some softening in interest rates, I suspect we're going to see continued downward pressure on buyer demand and therefore on prices. We're definitely seeing more homes hit the market this year than last year at this time, 30% more this past week, and that's coming off of 7% more the previous week and 36% more the week before that. This already appears to be a new trend. I suspect that the higher numbers are due to fatigue. I believe we have some sellers who've been waiting and sitting on the sidelines for a few years, waiting for the market to change, and I believe that more and more of them are deciding it's time to get on with their lives and move to where they want to live, and they're finally listing their homes for sale. On average, sellers must discount their home by about 1.4% from its original asking price in order to sell it successfully, but this may change in the coming weeks. It also may just be affected by people pricing better, knowing what the market's doing now. As interest rates remain high, affordability becomes a major issue, and something has to give. In that scenario, with high interest rates, it's most likely that sales prices will decrease a bit, or at least that the prices will not continue to rise as they have been. We did see a slight increase in bank-owned homes on the market. This is the highest number we have seen since the end of the foreclosure moratorium. It's still a small number, but we will keep an eye on it. Residential mortgage rates have been rising since around April 1st, reaching a year high just this week. The most competitive rate that I could see this week was about 7% for the 30-year fixed. However, most of the banks are quoting with rates from 7.5% to 8%. The Fed board will meet today and tomorrow. So when we check in again next week, I may have some additional information for you. And now we've completed this week's market roundup. Whether you're buying, selling, investing, or simply curious, subscribe to my newsletter or just give me a call to stay ahead of the Portland real estate curve. And I'll see you next week at this time with the latest stats and trends. As always, if you need any help at all with your real estate or you have questions, please give me a call at 503-683-1885 or send me an email to lauren@pdxhomesforsale.com. I look forward to being of service.